It's opening week in Major League Rugby, and it's also draft night in its very first Fantasy Rugby League. The live version of the Fantasy Ruckers Show starts right now.
Where rugby and the world of fantasy sports collide. Welcome to the Fantasy Ruckers Show, bringing fantasy rugby to the masses, talking all things rugby from the MLR to leagues around the world. We're on top of it. Headphones on, pads off. This is the Fantasy Ruckers Show. Now, here are your hosts, Ryan Yee, Matt Yee, and Devin Vanderpool.
What's up, everybody? This is a live version of the Fantasy Ruckers Show. Thank you to all our league members. Thank you to all of our Fantasy Ruckers community members. And thank you to everyone else who's tuning in to the live draft show, the Fantasy Ruckers draft show. Matt, Devin, you guys have been working all day. I had an episode this morning, and I told the people that you guys weren't able to make it because you were busy in your draft war rooms, doing all your research, studying all your stuff. We're about 12 minutes away here from the start of draft time. Are you guys ready?
I'm ready, boys.
Guaranteed more ready than Matt. Guaranteed.
Hey. I was too busy trying to find my way home. That's what I spent my time doing.
Yeah, I
I
heard
found
you got
my way
lost.
home. I made it back from Pennsylvania. You know, I spent some time with the Mounties, and we're good to
Nice.
go.
Good
I dressed
people,
up,
good
boys.
people.
I dressed up.
Yeah, what do you
Dressed
got on
up
there?
for it. He did dress up. What do you have on there, Matty? What is that thing that you're wearing? It's a little bit tight on you there.
No, it's extremely tight on me, actually. But just to show, it's a little bit of Mountie special. Nice little high school jersey. I can't go any lower, or else the gut will hang out. So yeah, that's all you get. That's all you boys get.
Well, there we go. A draft attire for a special occasion, a tight-looking Mountie shirt. But yes, let's hop right into it and talk about this draft that we have going on tonight. Because, guys, I feel like we've been waiting for so long to get this rolling. And our league members, they've been talking about it all day, and they've been saying how excited they are for it as well. We are going to introduce everyone who's watching live on YouTube, who those league members are. They are also watching, so we are looking at your comments. Malcolm McKenzie, yeah, we are pumped too. I appreciate the shout outs that you are giving me for all the work that's been put into this project. Man, I'm just happy to have fantasy rugby going. It should be a lot of fun. And then Ryan Boyle, we're really excited, like we said, to get this going as well. So yeah, keep on talking in the chat there. We'll love to have that conversation.
Hey, I got to give a shout out to Commissioner Ryan for putting together some stellar data that did not exist, a week ago or a month ago. It's a lifesaver because other than that, I mean, I would have been scrambling. That's for sure.
Well, even kind of the draft overlay you gave us. I mean, that's good job, man. Like this is well done.
Yeah, no, it did take, I will be honest, it took some pretty late nights to get that all kind of packaged together and ready to go. But regardless, it was the only reason why it was so tolerable to do was because it was a lot of fun doing it. I don't think if I didn't enjoy doing it, would I have been able to crunch as many numbers as I had over the past couple weeks, couple months here to get this all lined up for you guys. But hey, we're finally here, and we're finally gonna get to use those numbers that we finally use. So there is some housekeeping stuff, guys, that I want to put on the table for all of our viewers. Yeah, shout out to Nick Simon. He's in our fantasy football league. I'm a commissioner of that one too. Hey, just trying to bring over the talents that I have there onto this new project, onto this new league. But yeah, some little housekeeping stuffs for you guys, the league members especially, but for everyone listening, just to get an idea. In the episode this morning that I released, did a little recap of the rules and what to expect in preparation for the draft. So if league members or everyone else who wants to get updated with all those stuff, you can re-listen to that. But for right now, league members watching, what's going to happen essentially in the next 8 minutes here when the draft starts? Our very first pick is going to go towards John, who will be picking first overall in our inaugural draft. I will start the timer at the 8 o'clock mark. Now, what is going to happen is that during that time frame, you will have that time to essentially go through all the resources that you've put together on your own and the stuff that I provided you to make a selection. You will then direct message. Do not announce it in the Discord chat. Directly message it to me. I will then verify in our player database that is a player that you can have and that is available for you. And then I'll mark it down on that spreadsheet that we've got going to track our teams. And then I will announce it here on our show. And then we'll move on from that and go from pick to pick. But I think that will be the best way to do it. And then Vandy and Matt, because they're live here on the show, they'll just announce their picks here.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So, hey, I know you guys have done some preliminary research. I talked about it briefly on the episode this morning, but is there any kind of, I guess, tidbits? I know you guys don't want to give too much away because you're facing your competitors here that are all watching. So I don't know how much you want to be giving away. But that being said, what's the feeling? You guys have been in a lot of other fantasy sports drafts before. This is your first fantasy rugby draft. What's the mindset going into this?
Man,
All the same. Dominate. Dominate.
I'm in this spot where I'm like, oh, like where should I be drafting guys like Ko, guys like guys like Ko who outside of the celebration, outside of the big gamble that he's taken on us, where
friend
do
of the
guys
show,
like that
by the
where
way,
you haven't seen in the league yet, who you haven't seen, who didn't have any stats last year or any points last year that Ryan could pull from? How are you gonna grade these players? How are you gonna look at these players and say, yeah, like Ko is a first round guy, or no, Ko is a second round guy? Like, how does that? I'll be interested to see how the rest of the league is gauging that, because that is going to be something that's interesting to me for sure.
Well, that was the big thing for me when I was putting this all together, especially when I was putting together the rankings, was that there is no kind of baseline for this. This is only one season of fantasy stats that we have. And like you said, Matt, there are a lot of players that didn't play last year that are coming in and could actually have some pretty prominent roles, like Andrew Ko, a friend of the show, that could be having a pretty big role in an even bigger fantasy impact. So it'll be interesting to see where that goes. And mind you, Andrew Ko did say that he'll let the person who drafts him choose his first try celebration. So I know that was getting some buzz. He saw some comments out there. I know Fitzy in our league, he gave a shout out. He runs a rugby subscription email, and he's kindly put us on that. And he did a little shout out on his social media page, Rugby Morning. You can follow him at Rugby Morning, where he's like, oh, maybe we'll pick Ko. And he's like, we'll put him on the Sportsnet highlights. And Ko responded and said, I don't know what I got myself into. So he's definitely watching. So it should be interesting. We'll see where those players go. But before we get in, we're about 5 minutes away from the start of the draft. I am pretty sure everyone's here. I've heard from everyone. The only person that I haven't heard from is actually Hokie, who's been the most active, I think, in our Discord channel.
He's getting in the zone. He's getting in the zone. That's why.
Yeah, I guess so. But I haven't heard from him yet. But outside of that, it looks like we are all good so far. And if we have to wait a little bit longer, we have. But Hokie, if you are watching this and you see this, if you could message in our Discord group that you are here, that would be cool. But Vandy, with 4 minutes left here in the start of the draft, and I know the league members are itching for the start of this draft, we have to give you your team for this league, and we've been teasing this. We've been teasing this for a while. I think for the past 3 episodes, we've been trying to get you a team, and the community has finally spoken. I put up a post on Reddit and on Twitter and other socials at the Fantasy Ruckers. You can give us a follow there, about who should Vandy follow? Or who should his team be? He's a new fan. He has no skin in it necessarily.
How do you say San Diego without saying San Diego?
And it is funny because people did mention that because they heard you last episode. They were like, "Oh man, like, dude, this guy was trashing on San Diego before like everything's happened." But
and I take nothing back, nothing.
So are you ready to find out who your team is going to be? Are you ready?
I'd love to know.
Because it was close. It was actually very close, and there was a lot of good reasonings behind it. But I'm going to start off, because we have about 3 minutes to kill here. I'm going to start off with who it's not. Okay, but it was close. So teams that it could have been. Okay. The Austin Gilgronis were pretty close. That would have been interesting. I know you said that you liked the jersey a little bit. The team name so. The Dallas Jackals were actually a really popular one, Vandy, for you, because
their jersey too.
You did like their jerseys, and the biggest reasoning behind it was that you're a new fan, they're a new team. Why it kind of works perfectly. Why you? It's perfect. It's a match made in heaven. You should be a fan of
together. Eh? I get it.
Yeah. But it is not the Dallas Jackals. New England Free Jacks were close. Old Glory DC were close. And those were probably around the top teams. But the team that Vandy will be now the number one fan for going forward is going to be the Utah Warriors. Hey! Vandy is a Utah Warriors fan.
I'm down for that. I think they scored the second most tries.
You're the number one fan now. You're the one that needs to know that stuff.
Look it up. I'm pretty sure I'm right. I'm pretty sure they scored the second amount, or the second total tries after the Gilgronis or Giltinis.
You're right. You're right. But hey, that just shows how prepared old Vandy is.
Yeah, he didn't even know that the Utah Warriors are gonna be their favorite team, and he already knows the top stats. So it was match made in heaven. So Utah Warriors, Vandy, we're gonna try to get you a Utah Warriors jersey here the next couple of weeks as the season gets going. But hey, that's the team that you will be following this season. Hopefully you love them as much as you love the Kansas City Chiefs. I know we won't stick on it too long. Sorry for that heartbreaking loss. But hopefully the Utah Warriors can kind of fill that void over this offseason. As we approach the 8 o'clock hour, we'll see whether or not that has an effect. And maybe you're maybe a little bit more leaning towards Utah Warriors players now, because you're now you have to be a fan. So we'll see. In our comments,
I won't let it skew my draft strategy.
No, let it skew your draft strategy, man. Let it skew it.
Yeah, we'll see. And some of reactions from our league. I know it's 8 o'clock here. We'll get the draft going. But Malcolm is saying, hey, Vandy was like, hey. And then he was like, wait, Utah? Really? And then he had to think about it for a second. But I think you're happy with it. The black and red looks solid colors. I like the jerseys. I think it's a good look here. If you
guys didn't give me bottom of the barrel, I'll take it.
Yeah. Hey, it wasn't the SaberCats. I watched some of those games, and that was a little bit tough. Nothing against the SaberCats, but it was.
The people were too nice to you.
Yeah,
people were too nice. But before we go into the draft, because this is interesting, the fan that basically had the best response for you to like the Utah Warriors, he says, so many great options. This is UtahCon on Reddit. He goes, so many great options. Personally, I would cheer for the Utah Warriors, a strong team with great energy who is really good to their community and the upcoming juniors. They really are an outstanding organization. So, hey, you really can't go wrong with that. That sounds like a good thing. So we'll move on for a sec here. And Fitzy, running Rugby Morning in our league, he was really rooting for Dallas. Unfortunately, didn't fall that way. But Utah Warriors it is. Nick, he really loves the Utah Warriors jerseys, so we'll see if you, Vandy, like it as much as he does. With that being said, guys, I think it's time to do this. Are you guys ready?
Let's do it.
Guys, time to get it rolling? Okay, so draft has officially begun. I am starting the timer. And here we go. 3-minute timer has started. The 3-minute timer is somewhat flexible. I know that there's a little bit lag here between.
No, not for you, John. John, you do it in 3 minutes for us.
Yeah.
So it does look like everyone's here. Hokie is here, so it's great to see everyone here. So thank you for tuning in. Once again, thank you for everyone's support. Whether you're a league member or whether you joined our Discord channel and are part of the Fantasy Ruckers community, or even if you're just following along outside of it, we've gotten a lot of positive support with this project that we didn't expect that we were going to get. So it's been a lot of fun. It's made really enjoyable for the past first initial weeks here. So we're hoping to keep it going. So who are you guys thinking here? The clock's going down to about 2:20 here. First overall pick. I mean, what are you guys thinking?
He's going Robertson.
What could go here?
Who is
that? You said Vandy?
He's going Jason Robertson.
going Jason Robertson. See, that's the thing though. Is the players? I'm not sure if the players are available. And sorry, that's our league mascot, Rucker.
Our mascot,
He's getting
He's just
amped up for the
excited for the
thing.
draft, boys.
He's just excited for the draft. Exactly. But oh, here we go. So John is getting the pick in. You're thinking Jason Robertson. Unfortunately, we'll see whether or not it is. Oh, did you hear that, Vandy? I had the wrong drop there, but here we go. Draft pick is in. Yeah, Robertson is out of the MLR. I was mentioning, I think Matt, you were talking about that for Fitzy was mentioning that that Robertson is out. So it won't be him. But the first pick of the inaugural Fantasy Ruckers Rugby League, and obviously Rucker is really pumped up about it, is Mike Teo of the San Diego Legion. He will be going to JJ. So I'm going to just get that going, and we're going to have Rugby Morning on the clock next. We're going to let this 1 minute timer run out, and then I'll reset it as I'm doing these picks. But you guys kind of talk about that Mike Teo pick.
I'm trying to find him on your little list there. I can't find him on there.
A second. What do you mean?
No, on the.
No,
cheat
yeah, I
sheet,
can't. I'm trying to see it on the main one here too, because I did see him there. I'm pretty sure Teo isn't he in the league still, guys? If any of you listeners out there that are watching, is Mike Teo still in the fantasy league?
This is what happens when the MLR just can't keep their websites up to date.
Well, this is the thing, right? This is the thing with creating your own fantasy league, is that you don't have the platform. And that's something that I did realize, is that you realize that you don't have the platform that you can rely on to look at these players. But who knows? I am looking here. Yeah, he is. That's what I thought. I thought Mike Teo was still there. So he's not on the list, and I'll add him on the bottom here as our timer is done. So Fitzy, you're on the clock now. Your 3 minute timer has begun. So you send me a message here as you go.
Hey, John.
Oh, sorry, it's not Fitzy. It's Ryan who's got that second pick, and he has actually sent it to me in already. So we got number 2 pick here. And he's actually going with the scrum half position, and he's going with Harrison Goddard of the LA Giltini. So that is going first. So I'm going to punch those in here into our draft sheet as you guys talk about that.
Interesting choice here for scrum half at second pick. I mean, that's not what I would have expected, but I mean, he's high up in the rankings. That's for sure. So I guess that helps out, but you know, the
one thing I noticed kind of about scrum halves was that there's a huge drop off after the top two. You go from 74 points for the first guy to 36 for the fifth guy. So I mean, that's a huge difference between who's going to have him at, well, obviously him, and then whoever's going to have the 8th scrum half.
Having a lot of points at that position is definitely going to help, because I mean, I didn't expect that position to be, to be high scoring.
It makes sense when you see a drop off like that.
Yeah.
So I guess the chart is just way too big apparently, because he is there at 472 on the chart there. So he is in there. I guess he's at the bottom. So we did go there. I'm going to put him off as selected as we get into the second pick here. And I did get it in. And it is Fitzy who's coming in with this pick. And we're going to let reset this timer here, just as you guys, thank you for the patience as I try to get this all sorted out here. But yeah, interesting so far. Back 3 to start, and then a scrum half. Yeah. And then we got Fitzy coming in with the 3rd pick here.
Oh, that sound fires me up.
And we got Angus Cottrell coming in at that 3rd pick.
Buddy.
So Vandy, right before you wanted your boy on the Giltinis, I know you were talking, and Fitzy, man, you don't know what you just did, dude. You absolutely sniped Vandy. on his pick because he was raving about Cottrell before the start of the show, and it is, instead of going to Vandy, it is going to our boy Fitzy.
All right, now what do I
number
do?
3rd pick. So we're gonna let the timer restart here. So Vandy, you are up. So you got 3 minutes on the clock. Before you announce your pick, why don't you kind of talk through what you're thinking here on now that your pick is taken.
So, I don't know. You know when somebody just throws you for a loop?
Yep.
That's where I'm at.
That's where you're at right now?
That's where I'm at.
Tough.
Give me a sec here. Give me a sec.
Oh, no worries. And
I
this
gotta cook
happens.
up
This happens in drafts all the time.
Oh, yeah.
The amount this happens in fantasy football, any fantasy sport, where you have a plan going into a draft and it just completely goes sideways once someone comes in and snipes. And especially in the first round, it's tough because usually you have an idea of when that goes around. But when you're playing fantasy rugby here, when there is no baseline, we don't know who's going where. We'll see. But
I guess, I don't know. I'm going to go with the back 3. I'm going to go with Bjorn.
No,
okay,
you
Bjorn
don't want
Basson. That's a good, solid pick. He was a pretty prominent role there in that San Diego offense there. So that's good. Bjorn Basson there.
Something to think about as well. Yeah, Bjorn Basson on the wing. You got Ma Nonu on the at inside center or outside center as a distributor. I mean, that's somebody who's proven he can get the ball out wide and knows how to make the right decisions. So if Bjorn can just, keep scoring tries, but now he's outside of even, another world-class distributor.
Yeah.
That's a pick right there for sure.
And Fitzy,
you like that, baby?
And Fitzy goes, he's laughing at the fact that he stole your pick, and he said, "I had to, man. He was sitting there for me." But he's open to a trade, Vandy. He's open to a trade, so maybe you can what's it called? Work something out here so that you can get your boy.
I think
so
Vandy's
Matt, you're
gonna settle for Ryberg.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We don't talk about too much. I think he wants his boy. So let's officially announce the pick. So Vandy, you are going with your boy Bjorn Basson here. So that is the 3rd pick as I get that marked down here on our Excel sheet.
Okay.
And now, Matt, you are on the clock. Your timer has begun. Why don't you talk through what you're thinking here?
I mean, there's a few guys on the board that I'm interested in. You look at a guy like DTH. I mean, that's who I'm looking at. I'm just trying to figure out, Adam Ashley Cooper also isn't there. Maybe DTH sees more tries. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe, he takes some games off. There's also Sam Windsor sitting there who moved over to New Jersey United. Now that they're playing in New Jersey and they're not even playing in New York. Another New York team stolen by New Jersey. So, yeah, I mean, decisions. That's for sure.
Yeah,
decisions.
No, I'm just talking out loud, thinking out loud.
You're just talking out loud. He's got to think it through, Van. You got to give the man some time, dude. He's got to make his picks here. Maybe you sniped Basson from him. Who knows?
No, I basically gave you that pick, Vandy. So you should be thanking me.
Oh, thanks, Matt.
So what do you got here, Matt? Let's announce the pick. If you got one, let me know when you are good to go.
Yeah, I'm not good to go yet. 1 second.
All right, no worries. Take your time. But yeah, it is interesting. So we have a fly hat. We have 3. Let's go here. We got 3 back 3 players, or 2 back 3 players, 1 scrum half, and a back row player going here in the top 4. So I think here we might not see as much of a position skewing, just because I think people are just going to try to go for people who score the highest number of points, regardless of what position. But it will be interesting to see when that drop off happens.
All right.
Well, just look at the drop off between the back row, man. Like,
yep. Well,
no, it's true. It's very, very true. So
boys,
we'll see here.
Speaking of points,
yep.
I'm gonna go for the man that kicks the points. He's gonna kick the conversions for me. He's gonna have the golden boot. Good old Sam Windsor.
Sam Windsor. We got good old Sam Windsor, and he is now with with New York now, or what city there, Matt?
They're New Jersey United.
In New Jersey. I can't believe I cannot.
He made his way out of the garbage Houston SaberCats and now came to a team that's going to stack up and score some points, and he's going to be a big part of it.
Yeah, I cannot believe that they did hashtag you can see the Empire State Building knowing that they were playing in New Jersey, and they still went with that. They knew what they were doing there. But all right, moving on to pick number 6. This is going to be Wes to make this pick, and he is, I believe, here listening. So he is on the clock. So Wes, if you hear us, your 3-minute timer is up. But now after, I guess, this little stretch here, what are your thoughts so far? I know, Vandy, you have the steal of Angus Cottrell. Fitzy stole that from you. But you feel okay with starting to build your team around Bjorn Basson?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too worried about it yet. There's a couple picks. My next one, if I can land him, I'm feeling a lot better.
Okay. Yeah, obviously you're not going to give away any of that so far.
Because we have some thieves in this league.
Apparently now we've set off the you're on the defensive now. You ain't playing games now. Now you know. But Wes has come in early here with the pick. So who are we going with? We're going from the 10th overall ranked player from last season, our good old friend Dougie Fife. Dougie Fife is the pick. Pretty good pick. I mean, he's top 10. Back 3 player once again. Scored a decent amount of tries. So
I feel like these top picks, like you said, are just going to be a lot based off of the points, and the top guys are going to go once we get to this 3rd and 4th round. Things are going to take a bit more time, I think.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think it's kind of clear. You're just picking guys that you're comfortable with going with, but we'll see how it goes. But it now is going to be, I believe, let me just check the draft order here. It is going to be Malcolm who is on the clock now. So Malcolm, your timer has begun. So shoot me a message when your draft pick is in. And like I said, guys, we will be doing this draft until basically 9 o'clock hits. Some of our league members do have to go, and we will continue the draft as a slow draft. We will have to complete it by Thursday. So I'll just push you along when it comes to that, but we'll get as much as we can get done here. As I believe the pick is going to be coming in from Malcolm. How long until that sound gets old, or do you love it already? The pick from Malcolm is going to be from the Los Angeles Guillotines, DTH Vandermeer. So DTH Vandermeer goes to Malcolm. Pretty good pick. I was curious when he was going. It felt like when I was going through his games, it felt like he had these bursts of games that he would just score like nonstop, like 3 tries. Like, you can't stop this guy. And then he would kind of disappear in spurts, but at the end he did have a high try total. So if he can do that again on, I believe, one of the best teams in the MLR, he should be somewhat fine. So
first Canadian off the board.
First Canadian off the board. There we go. So we're happy to see that.
All right,
as us being
what do you got with all
Canadian
these tips
boys.
you've been giving me?
So Hokie, you are now on the clock. So shoot me a message when your pick. You've decided on your pick. You've been giving some nice tips to Van. You've been very helpful to him. So he's expecting big things from you here. He's wondering which way you're going. And
like a mentor figure.
Yeah, it should be interesting. Now, I will say, Matt, you're the first person to have picked a prominent kicker. Was that something that it puts you over the edge in picking Sam Windsor? I mean, he's on a new team now, but he could still be the kicker for New York, who's supposed to be a very good side.
Yeah, I mean, I want him to kick all the kicks except one, which Co's going to kick. But yeah, no, I mean, he's on a better team. He's going to be in the opponent's half more. He already kicked a lot of penalties last year, but I think now he'll be able to kick penalties and kick conversions as well, because his team's going to be scoring, I presume. Just because obviously New Jersey United's going to be better than what the SaberCats were last year.
Yeah, that's for sure. And I don't know if it has the same. I don't know if it has the same. The thought in fantasy football with kickers where it's like if a team doesn't score a lot of touchdowns, they're kicking field goals. So field goal kickers aren't indicative of the skill of that team. I don't know if maybe because Houston was so bad and Sam Windsor was just kicking points for them, that's why he was so high. But we'll see whether or not he does the same thing. But the pick is in from Hokie, and we'll see who he is going with. He will be picking Sam Malcolm. Sam Malcolm of the Toronto Arrows, another fly half. He was absent for a large portion of last season, but he is a prominent member of that Toronto Arrows team. Hey, Canadian goes, and then a player from a Canadian team goes. So we got a little Canadian buzz going. He says Sam Windsor. Oh,
no.
Hokie, I apologize. Sam Windsor has already been taken.
Don't you try and take my boy.
Yeah, so if you would like a rehash of your pick, you can do that.
Although
just
you can't
verify
go back
for
on
me.
Sam Malcolm now because Sam Malcolm is deaf in one ear apparently, I think.
Are you being serious?
Yeah.
Damn.
Look it up.
I'm just gonna take your word for that. But Hokie, if you hear me right now, Sam Windsor, I'll message in the chat. I think he can because he's typing. But yeah, Sam Windsor's taken, but that's okay. Your timer is coming down, but I'll let you get another shot at it as I reset it. The players that have been taken so far: DTH Vandermeer, Dougie Fife, Sam Windsor, Bjorn Basson, Angus Cottrell, Harrison Goddard, Mike Teo. So we'll see where he's going now. Hold on, I'm getting confused here because Hokie is saying Sam Windsor. Sorry, Hokie. Sam Windsor has been taken
by
Matt. He's trying to steal it from you.
Look at that. Thieves.
I got thieves here. But yeah, just to wrap out, he's going to have a double flip anyways of both picks. So actually, Hokie, while you have this extra time, why don't you tell me two picks here? One that was supposed to be the Sam Windsor pick, and then your second pick. And then we can move on here. But yeah, interesting. I think kicking is going to be a big portion, but I think the factor that we've reduced the kicking by half is going to be a big factor. It has evened out the playing field a little bit. And then also you can only designate one kicker per week. So it's kind of like having that set and forget guy like in fantasy football. Matt, I don't think if Sam Windsor is Rugby New York's designated kicker, I think it's going to be a set and forget for you for the foreseeable future of the season.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the other thing. I'm curious to see how many games DTH plays because he's already had a full playing career, like a successful one as well. So is he going to be kind of on the? I know Giddo and last year before Adam Ashley Cooper retired, they took some rest games off. So I wonder how many. I don't want to have to fall into my first pick playing like 70% of the games. I want him playing as many games as possible.
Right. So we'll get see because that was something also interesting. There were some kickers that only played like 9 games, and I mentioned this in the episode earlier that maybe there'll be an indicative. That's why I included it in our cheat sheet of points per match played because Vandy, instead of in football where it's expected that you're going to play every single game unless you're injured, rugby is not like that. There are going to be guys that are going to be sitting out. So a player might just be as efficient and as consistent from a points perspective, but just hasn't played as many games. We do have a correction pick here. So now Hokie's back on the clock for the first pick of the second round, but for the last pick of the first round, he is going to be selecting Mac Mason. So Mac Mason is off the board. He is on the Gilgronis, fly half for them. He was also, I believe, the place kicker for them at a frequent amount of times. Yeah, he made 20 conversions, 19 penalties. So going with the fly half route there, kind of like what you did, Matt. So we'll see what his second pick is as I put that pick in. And his second pick is Man, we are just rolling along here. Is going to be AJ Alatimu of the Seattle Seawolves, another fly half. So I guess he's putting him in the back flex position, I believe. That'll be interesting how he does that, I believe. What do we have Alatimu listed on our sheet?
Like on overall?
On a fly half. So yeah, he's went the 2 fly half route. So we'll see whether or not that pays off because you can only designate 1 kicker. So we'll see whether or not that pays off. But yeah, he's going to have a fly half in his back flex position. So Malcolm, you are now on the clock for your first pick of the second round. But yeah, interesting pick. What do you think there? 2 fly halves? Is that something that you guys think is a right call here?
Who was the second fly half taken there? Sorry, Dan?
Mac Mason.
Mac Mason.
And then AJ Alatimu.
Yep.
I mean, you can only designate 1 kicker. I mean, the only reason that you'd get another fly half is 1, to possibly cover and have options, and 2, if he's an attacking fly half and he puts up points. But I mean, interesting pick, and it may work out for him at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I'm trying to keep up here, guys, on the spreadsheet. If for you guys watching and that have access to the spreadsheet in our team, I would follow the team rosters team tab. That's where I'm putting the players. I think that will probably be most efficient. Haven't really been able to go and keep up in the draft results section here, but I will get that in here as we have a pick coming in for the second round pick. Let me just fill this out here. We got Mac Mason with that 8th pick, and then we have AJ Alatimu. And then we do have a pick from Malcolm. He is going Bowden Waka. So he now finally goes with the kicker. And Waka, he was pretty prominent later in the season, especially. I can't find him here in the rankings where we have him, but he finished 5th
up there.
overall.
He's 5th.
He's overall. So from a kicking perspective, though, I'm trying to see what we have him eligible as in our.
He's a fly half and back 3.
Fly half back 3. So that's huge. That's huge. I feel like those hybrid positions are going to be massive because that just gives you more flexibility, kind of like in fantasy hockey when you have kind of multiple winger positions. I think that will really play a big deal. So Bowden Waka going to Malcolm. We now have Wes on the clock. So Wes, you can make your pick. Your timer has now begun as I try to update this sheet because you guys are just flying through this. But yeah, pretty good so far. Fly halves taken. Only 1 back row player has been taken so far.
Smart back row player too, might I add.
Yeah, a smart back row player. Wes is trying to figure out his pick. Once again, a little bit of confusion on the guys that are still in the league. And that's the thing, too, is that because the Major League Rugby isn't like the top league, there's a lot of guys that move on to more prominent leagues overseas. So there's a lot of roster movement within the MLR. So it can be tough, especially when we're trying to keep track of this by hand. It can keep track. And the MLR, too, I don't know if you've noticed, Vandy, as you've done your research into it, but they're so coy with their stats and like they're updating their rosters and stuff. You cannot find an updated list anywhere. And I have to give a shout out to AmericaRugbyNews.com because that's basically where I've been getting all my stuff from. I don't know how they are able to break it all down and everything, but
they're vets in the business. That's how.
I guess so. But yeah, they've been a huge help with trying to at least getting a somewhat adequate, roster, formation for me to follow, because it's been tough to follow that. But let me just put in the Waka pick here for Malcolm, and then we do have a pick from Wes coming in. So for the first pick, for the second round first pick for him, he is going, and I believe this is what he means when he messaged me, he is going Julian Dominguez, and he is on, I believe, Let me just pull this up here. There's just so many players I can't remember. Julian Domingos, that's right, on NOLA. Yeah, big finisher, finished 6th overall, 80.9 fantasy points last year. He is a back 3 player. So I guess he is going into that flex spot for Wes as well. So now we do have Matt. You are now on the clock, buddy. So you let me know when you have your pick.
Matt,
Talk about me?
will hit the button.
I swear to
Yeah, I'm
God,
talking
if you
about
take this too,
Well, see, that's what the interesting thing is about this whole snake draft is trying to figure out, if you snipe Matt coming one way, he could very well snipe you coming back the other, or vice versa now, I guess, with Fitzy, who's there. So
I already feel it. I already feel
yeah.
it coming out of his stupid yap.
Buddy,
Yeah,
I
we'll
want to
see.
just. Oh man, this is a tough one because part of me just wants to end Vandy's.
Do you know? Do you have a
draft
feeling? Do you have a feeling of what he's gonna pick? Is that
Not a chance.
You don't know me.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, I should have got the
All right.
the Jeopardy music.
I'm ready to go. I'm gonna do this just because Vandy's after
All right,
me,
hold
and
on. We
because-
gotta get this going.
And because he's got the biggest thighs in the league and is the biggest winger in the MLR. I'm taking John Ryberg.
Oh, he did it. Oh no. You couldn't let him, Maddie. You
Hey.
couldn't let him have him. Oh no. I mean, to be fair, Vandy, though, to be fair,
I'm gonna
you
kill
have a back
somebody.
3 player. It's okay. People are just stealing your picks left and right, but
You
it's
didn't
okay,
even
man.
want him. You're a Utah Warriors fan. You didn't even want him.
Yeah, you know. So,
Yes.
all right, good pick. John Ryberg there going to Maddie. So
actually
two kind of powerhouses there. So, Vandy, you are up, and I'll have your timer start now as well. So far, just to give everyone a recap, Mike Teo, Harrison Goddard, Cottrell, Basson, Windsor, Fife, Waka, Mason in the first round. Coming back around, Alatimu. Vandermeer was in the first round instead of Waka. Coming back around the other way was Alatimu, Waka, Dominguez, and now Ryberg. And Vandy's on the clock here. He right now has Bjorn Basson, so a back 3 player.
Hey,
a
how
little
many
bit
fly
tough.
halves are taken?
Fly halves taken. I believe there are. We got Sam Windsor, Mac Mason, Alatimu, and Waka. So we got 4 fly halves taken so far. And the amount of
taking a
teams
fly
that
half, boys.
that might not be like to pick a kicker here. I feel like kickers
Yeah.
are a pretty big deal in this. I know we've nerfed them a little bit, but
Not enough.
yeah, I guess not enough
right,
maybe. So we'll
Picks
see.
in.
The pick is in. Okay, so here we go. The announcement. For the 6th pick of the second round, Vandy is selecting. Oh, who's he selecting?
Sorry, I bugged out a bit there. I got
Who is he
Taylor Adams.
Taylor Adams. Okay, Taylor Adams, I believe, of the Toronto Arrows. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Or did he move?
Oh,
I believe Adams is on the Arrows. Sweet. Taylor Adams. I hope he's still on the team because I don't have him on the available list that I have. So,
I
Vandy,
just Googled him. He said his current team is Toronto Arrows. So
okay. So we'll go with that. And I guess that's the risk that we got to take, here. So with the fly half, Taylor Adams.
he's a New Zealand player.
Is he a New Zealand player? All right. So we got
Yes,
that. So Taylor Adams. Now, Fitzy, you are now on the clock, starting your timer here. 3 minutes. We'll see when that pick comes in. But yeah, interesting pick so far. I'm just looking at the fly halves here. Yeah, Taylor Adams. Okay. Yeah, he was pretty good for the Arrows, eh? For them on there.
He's
It's interesting. I don't know
consistent for
why.
them.
I don't know why on some he should be on this list. I feel like he's still. Oh wait, Fitzy says Taylor Adams is out of the league. So thank God that we have Fitzy here because he was released. So thank you for having this. I'm trying to keep track of all this news and it's hard to. So Malcolm, Fitzy, thank you guys. So Vandy, why don't you do a reset here? So it's good that we have all these league members keeping us up to date with that. I appreciate it.
You know what? I'm gonna have
so
to
take your time here. Take your time here. No rush.
No, I had this guy too. I'm gonna go with Dan Hollinshead.
Dan Hollinshead. Okay, let me see and make sure that
Not
he's
a bad
here.
kicker, but he got more points as actual fly, so he didn't kick as much. But
he might be out of. He might be gone too, Vandy.
I'm gonna puke.
Buddy, I think he's gone.
Yeah, I think he might be.
Okay.
Yeah, he's gone. He's in France now, Vandy. So
Oh,
why don't
you
you
picked
try
a good
it?
one, though.
You did pick a good one. So keep going down the list here, and maybe you'll go. Hey, I'll give you a fun fact here. How about this? I noticed that he doesn't play maybe every 80 minutes every game, but it does sound like it is his last hurrah, and it's on the best team, Matt Gateau. Like I don't think he's the fly half, but I think he is the center there, and he does kick. So maybe that's a pick to go with. I'm just throwing crap out there for you to see what it is, because right now you have your back three in Bjorn Basson, so you can really go in any direction here.
Is Joe Peterson still in the league?
Let me see here.
I believe so.
I think he might be. He
was
pretty good from a points per basis.
He still is.
Yeah, he's still there, and he has the fly half back three kind of hybrid there. So if you want to pick him, he is available.
Yeah, I'll go with him.
All right, here we go. A little bit. We need like a different sound effect for like a rehash of that. But Joe Peterson going to Vandy's team. That's a good pick. I think he was the highest on the points per match, wasn't he? Yeah, he was. Sure. He was the high. He only played 9 out of the 16 possible matches that he could have played this season. But he averaged in those 9 matches 8 points per match. So that's pretty good. For
some tolerance breaks, eh?
That's that's a good pick there. So now, Fitzy, you are on the clock. Let me know what pick you are sending once we have that. And Malcolm is saying, does Vandy know that Joe Peterson is on the Legion? and you're now history with the Legion.
The Legion, eh?
The San Diego. Well, hey, you were hating on their jerseys, and now
I gotta watch my kicker do it every damn week, eh? Whatever.
Now I'm just gonna see here. Fitzy's just asking whether or not. I'm hearing a little feedback here in my ears. I can hear me coming out. But I'm. Fitzy was just sending in his pick and making sure that one of the picks was available. And yes, Sam Malcolm is available. So if that's what he wants to go with, I'll let him make it official. But it does appear on my sheet that Sam Malcolm is available. So what? What are you now? A part San Diego Legion fan, full on Utah Warriors fan? Not his pick. It's not his pick. Okay, so a little false alarm there. So no Sam Malcolm. All right. So while we have this little break here, I'm gonna try to update some stuff. But how are you guys feeling? Matt, you have Sam Windsor and what's it called?
And
John Ryberg. Oh no! I didn't play the drop when he got drafted. Okay, well now now it's bad luck because I was expecting Vandy, but this was on the broadcast when I was going through, and I'm gonna play it every single time that John Ryberg's name gets mentioned.
The Ryberg, the quadricep with eyeballs.
He's apparently the quadricep with eyeballs, so that's what we're calling him on the show. John, the quadricep with eyeballs, Ryberg. That's what he is on the show. I can't believe I missed my chance to do that. Dang it.
I want to make it better. Why don't you go thighs with eyes?
He should have gone thighs with thighs. It would have sounded perfect, but no. Quadriceps with eyeballs, I guess, is it. But now the pick is in from Fitzy, and this is a good pick. I really, really like this pick. He's going with Dylan Fawcett of the New York rugby team. He was huge this season in the set piece play. I was going through those try assists. I mentioned it this morning, and he was a big part of that. So huge pick by Fitzy there. So Fitzy fits. I don't know. You can tell me what I should go with, but Dylan Fawcett is the pick for rugby morning.
Whatever, buddy.
So we got now Ryan on the clock, who will now make his pick. And interesting so far. That's our first front row player coming off the clock here, so or off the board. So we'll see whether or not if that starts to spur a wave of front row players, because Dylan Fawcett is a big time player. How are you feeling? You have a big reaction? Yeah, you have a big reaction there. Yeah, why? You wanted him?
For me, I had him ready to go next.
I mean, but you weren't for a while though, so chances are he was probably going to get taken, right?
Oh, whatever. I was hoping. You never know. I mean, that's the one thing with this draft that I'm figuring out is you don't generally know what, the same information isn't as available to everybody. I know we all have the cheat sheet, but some guys are looking at additional things that make them pick somebody who maybe is lower down in the order, but they see something different because of maybe something else that they read. So, I'm hoping. I was just being optimistic.
Look at you.
Yeah, you know what? Optimism is good, and we do have a pick coming in from Ryan, and that is going to be Ross Neal, back three center hybrid player for the Seattle Seawolves. So Ross Neal goes at the tail end of the second round. Another back three center hybrid. You don't see those as often, so that will be an interesting one to have. But we got Ross Neal going to Ryan. And now John is on the clock here, so he will have the 3 minutes reset, and he will have two picks here on the turn. So John, send me a message of two players that you would like on this turn to pick. And Rucker is obviously happy about how things are going here in this draft. He's amped up about the draft. I mean, it's interesting how it's gone so far. I think everyone's going their own unique way. And it seems that there is no real, hardcore strategy when it comes to picking players. Maybe pick those try scorers and kickers at the beginning, but outside of that, it's not really anything different here.
Well, I mean, now we're getting into the rounds where maybe we're not looking at just the top points, but now we're looking at, okay, is there somebody who's top at their position that I can snag now? I mean, that's the way that I'm looking at it. I'm trying to see, okay, maybe let's try and get a forward who scores a lot of points, because again, you're going to look at it, you're going to expect the wingers, the centers to score more tries, but those forwards that are scoring points, those are good to come by.
Yep. That is true, and we'll see whether or not it is John that starts going that route, and he does announce it to me, and he is going the player that has been, I feel like, teased throughout this is the first two rounds here. Sam Malcolm. He's going with Sam Malcolm, fly half on the Arrows with his first pick, and I really, really do like this second pick that he has here. He's going Danny Tusitala, the scrum half on Old Glory DC. That is a very, very good pick. Danny Tusitala. So another stealings going here. Vandy is just absolutely shook right now. The plan is just not going the way he wants it. Ryan, you're back up on the clock.
Actually,
3 minutes has begun for you.
Good guys.
But I mean, hey, I would not be angry. I mean, it's just like any draft. The top 2 rounds are going to be good. You're going to have 2 good players regardless. It's not determined through that. So
that's a joke, John. I thought we had a deal.
Hey, now, no collusion here. The commissioner does not allow any of that.
Sorry, what was that, collusion?
No, nothing like that.
Nothing like that.
I'm not Tom Brady. I don't cheat.
So I'm just gonna punch these all in here. And I do have the pick in here. Sorry, I'm just trying to punch this in. So we are heading into the 3rd round here.
I don't even know when you take a scrum half now.
Nah,
here we go. Ryan going with a pick here that I think is a little bit different than what we've been seeing so far. He is going to take our
center,
2nd back row player of the draft so far. Very good back row player so far. An MLR veteran, Cam Dolan, 8-man for the NOLA Gold. So Cam Dolan goes to the team that is owned by Ryan. So Fitzy, you're back up the clock. Who are you going to be choosing for rugby morning? But Cam Dolan is off the board now. It's a pretty good pick. I like that pick. Cam Dolan is a very good player.
Well, yeah, it's funny. Just as I was about to, lock him into my draft board,
he gets
picked. So that's a nice little coincidence. I enjoy that a lot.
Story of my life.
Whatever.
It does feel like, Vandy, that you've gotten your picks sniped every single time so far. But
yeah, I get
hey,
it.
it'll just make it.
Guys.
It'll just make it that much sweeter when you come back here and you beat everyone, because there's a lot on the line. Like we said, every team that beats you in the regular season in the standings is going to get an extra $20 to charity. So you got to be working hard so that I don't lose as much money here this season. And once again, just starting the clock here, you got about 2:30 here. Fits on the clock. And it seems like everyone has their back 3 players. So far in the 2nd round, just to do a recap, it did go, it finished up with Alatimu, Waka, Dominguez, Ryberg, Peterson, Fawcett, Neal, Malcolm. And then to start the 3rd round, it has gone Tusitala and Dolan. So we're starting to see some scrum halves trickle in there. We're starting to see some 8-men trickling in there as well. Let's see what Fitz does here. But yeah, what are you thinking here? What is there a player here that you don't want Fitz to take, Vandy?
Don't say it, or else he's gonna take it.
Yeah, obviously, you got me in a hard
obviously
spot
don't
there.
say it. But you got a player lined up here.
I guess I got a scrum half, and I got a and a 2nd row guy. Or sorry, not 2nd row, front row.
All right, so we'll see here.
So it all depends on what he takes. I guess he's not taking the front row because they already got Fawcett. So
yeah, I guess that's also the thing too, is that I got to keep these things posted, because you guys got to see what people have, because that does affect the strategy going forward. You got about a minute here, Fitz, if you can hear me, on this pick.
You know what that means? Auto draft, baby.
That's how we do it in this house.
But yeah, pretty interesting so far. I got
it. I got
my
pick
it.
Lock. I already know.
Like, from someone who doesn't have a team in this, right? And I'm just looking at how the builds have happened so far. No one to me has really, like,
ran away with it.
Like, yeah, I know it's only 2 or 3 players, but still, like, no one has been able to, like, no one has fallen where it's been like, oh crap, like he has, like.
Yeah.
Hey, Vandy, who you going?
It's not me yet. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, but I'm after you. Just let me know so I can prepare.
Just let me know, bro.
I got a plan.
And here we go. The pick is in from Rugby Morning, and I just had to check to make sure that he was available, because apparently we got to do that now. Mark O'Keefe, center for the Gilgronis is going to Fitz and Rugby Morning. So, Vandy, you are now officially on the clock. That is a center. That is, I believe, our first center.
Yeah.
That's our first center coming off the board.
Yeah, because I was looking at Ross Neal. What am I missing there?
Ross Neal was taken already in the pick before.
Oh, that would be why.
Yeah, so he was taken by Ryan before. So we got.
I just seen that.
Yeah, we got Mark O'Keefe here on this one that is taken.
Oh,
so
he's got him as a back three.
Yeah, he's got him as a back three. Yeah.
I got you.
So, yeah, Vandy, you're on the clock. Clock has started. Let me know when you got your pick in. And we're getting close to 9 o'clock here. So let's try to see if we can wrap up at least maybe up to the 4th round would be pretty cool if we could do that. And then we'll get the thing going. But it was really nice to be able to hop on here and let us know, guys. I know I'm just reading the comments here. Fitz is saying, damn, he wanted Danny too. It sounded like a lot of people are getting their picks stolen in this draft so far, and we're only 3 rounds in, and we got 12 more. Yep.
You know what? I'm going with the center too.
Oh.
He's going with the center. Here we go.
I'm going Cameron Clark.
Okay.
Cameron Clark. Okay, Cameron Clark. I just want to make sure here that he's on the list. Just making sure he's on our available players list. I don't see him, Vandy. Do you see him?
Nope.
Oh, he went back to Australia.
Cam Clark went back to Australia, so...
Okay.
Yep, reset on that one. And it is funny, Vandy, because I don't think it's a coincidence that our newest rugby fan is having a little bit of a struggle of knowing which guys are going back overseas and which guys are staying here. I think every single round you've had a guy you've been like, oh, I'll take this guy then. Hokie says Cam Clark is now playing for the Brumbies. That's pretty cool. I don't know. It's cool to see that this league is now kind of like a stepping stone for bigger leagues, Matt. Do you feel that?
I mean, you can see that some of the pro teams like the Arrows, I believe, are partnered with Wellington, the Hurricanes, and Super Rugby. And I mean, I'm sure it works in some way where guys that they want to see on a professional level, the Hurricanes want to see on a professional level. I'm sure that they suggest, hey, why don't you go overseas, like work with them? That's our connection, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's a surprise we're seeing provincial New Zealand players and provincial Australian
How about
players.
Ben Lesage?
Okay, yeah, there we go. So he's actually a friend of the show. So is that your official pick? Should I hit the button? Should I hit the button, Danny?
Play the music.
I will say, hey, he's playing for the Giltinis now. He got traded.
Okay. Yeah. Play the music, put him in. Let's go.
All right, Ben Lesage is going to Vandy. And like I said, he is a friend of a friend show. I know Andrew Coe is really close with him, so it'd be cool if maybe we could get him on the show. It'd be cool to hear about how the whole Giltinis operation is going. And that is a perfect timing there, Vandy, because your timer just went up. So Matt, you're now on the clock, but just give me a second here as I fill this stuff out. But he's a Canadian guy. He played for Team Canada there.
Canadian Matt, boy, UBC boy.
Did you play with him, Matt? At all?
I mean, yeah, I think I remember playing with him a few games. Good guy. Fortunately, with a bad owner. Hey, Vandy.
Sounds like me and my fiance.
With the Giltinis and the Gilgronis. Are you happy?
I'm gonna do this one quick so that we can get as many picks in. But I'm going James Malcolm.
Okay. I was looking at him too. Good pick.
James Malcolm, and I'm just making sure here that
he's there, buddy.
He's on the list. Hooker on the Seattle Seawolves.
He's there.
He's there. You did your due diligence. Okay, I trust. Okay, James Malcolm is off the board. He is a front row player, hooker for the Seattle Seawolves. I think that is one of the strategies that I think we are going to see, is that I think people are going to prefer to have a hooker at that front row position. There are props that are pretty good in fantasy, but not as many. Yeah, it is, and you see the conversation going on right now in our Discord channel about how crazy, how much movement there is in the MLR. It's hard to keep track of this, and not only have that element, but also add the element that we're doing this completely by hand, as if we're back in the 90s. So yeah, it is making it fun here, and we're just having fun with it. So yeah, a challenge, but fun challenge to say the least. Matt, you went with
James Malcolm.
With James Malcolm
Looks
as
like
your front row here.
Wes is
and
following
then
suit, getting another front
Vandy.
row.
You already got mine in. You got Ben Lesage in.
Yep, I'm just popping them all in here. Ben Lesage. And then Fitzy went.
Oh, I was thinking about a front row too.
Hey, Vandy, you took my pick there, man.
Dylan Fawcett.
I thought he was going to fly under the radar for a little bit.
All right, so we're just waiting on Wes for his pick.
It's in.
And he's going, I believe.
Play the song.
Let me check here. Hold on, man. I got to make sure that he's here.
I love the jingle, man.
He's there.
Hold on. I gotta do my due diligence.
You don't trust
I'm doing my due diligence by pushing you along.
Oh, come on, get out of here. All right, Chris Robshaw, back row player for the San Diego Legion, is going to West. So
Legion,
you guys are starting to fly by these picks. I'm having a hard time keeping up with them. But Malcolm, you are now on the board, and your timer has begun. No. Maybe I should have.
Man, I don't think he took Robshaw, Ryan.
What? You didn't take Robshaw?
He took Marco Jans van Rensburg.
Oh, he did. That was his. Oh, he was talking about another thing. Sorry about that. So Marco van Rensburg is gone. I was thinking that because I thought Robshaw was a little bit lower on the rankings. That's Marco with a C, right?
That's Marco
with a K.
With a K.
Marco with a K. So, okay, we got a front row player, hooker for Rugby Atlanta. And that's funny. He comes in with the Robshaw pick with sneaky, and he's not even going. So now it's not even sneaky anymore because he's not going with that pick. So Marco van Rensburg going to West there from Rugby Atlanta. So you are now on the clock, Hokie, for Malcolm on your pick. And Chris Robshaw is available.
Hey, don't take the guy that I want to take. Don't take him.
All right, we'll see what we have here. We have, and I'm just making sure I get his position right here. We got Martin Iosefo on the Seattle Seawolves, the center back 3 hybrid. He is going to Malcolm. So Hokie is now on the clock here with 2 picks, and we'll see. Let's do 2 picks here. Let's finish up one more round here. I think we can do that, and then we'll wrap up the show. Which should take about 5 to 10 more minutes here, so we can roll through this pretty quickly. And especially if Hokie gets in those two picks here right away. But yeah, Martin Iosefo. I've kind of lost tracks of positions so far. I do start to see some hookers now coming off the board. Like I said, I think that's going to be kind of the play on the front row. It's like kind of whether or not do you pick a early quarterback that's going to get you a lot of points, or do you just wait on it and see if you can get just the guy that you can stream. It's funny with these
positions with like low depth, because as soon as one goes off the board, it's kind of like quarterbacks actually, where it's as soon as one goes, they all go.
Right, exactly. It's like, oh crap, he's getting it, so I got to get mine.
I'm wondering when the first team set piece is going to go. I mean, there's some up there that have some pretty good total points on the season, but the points per game, it doesn't look that great. Yeah. And I think like you said, one team's going to go, and it's like, oh shoot, I got to get the rest of them. I got to get somebody before they're all gone.
That's literally like, look at every draft. As soon as a defense or a kicker goes, like in football, it's just machine gun fire for those positions.
Oh yeah.
Well, because you can fall behind. Like you never think it's going to be that round, and then it is that round, and you got to take it.
Yeah.
Because you can't wait for a swing back.
So we're just waiting on the pick here from someone else, from Hokie. I don't see him in the Discord chat, and the timer is coming down here. So if we don't hear from him in like the next couple of minutes here, we'll just wrap up after this third round, and we'll continue going forward. But pretty good job, and obviously Rucker is getting a little bit antsy here, excited about this draft. But
I mean, for a walk, man. You got feet.
Yeah, well, he's got. Oh, I do that all the time. Come on, man. He's the best. Okay, here we go. So someone else is here. So Peter Jansen is going to be his pick, and I'm just gonna make sure that he is in here. I don't know if I see him though in our list.
Takes the set piece.
And then he takes Atlanta set piece.
Wow.
I'm just trying to see if Jensen is here though.
What am I missing from that front row?
He's here.
You see him?
Yep.
What is he on Atlanta?
He's front row for New England.
New England. Okay, so let me just get that on our board here. Front row. Oh, Pieter Jansen. All right, got it. Okay, so you know what? Let's leave it off at that one there. It's got it closer to 9 o'clock. So we'll start off on the fourth round. So coming back around is going to be Malcolm on this next pick. What we'll do is that you can just message the Discord channel, message it to me personally if you can. And then, or actually, you know what? Message it in the league Discord channel, and then I will put it in the list, and then we can all take it. So yeah, I got it. Pieter Jansen and the Atlanta set piece. I'm going to update that. That will be the end of our third round and start of our fourth round. Malcolm, you will have the first pick, so you can shoot that to us whenever, and we'll just get that done over the next couple of days. But guys, how are you feeling after you've selected, I guess, your first three centerpieces? Matt, you've got James Malcolm, Sam Windsor, John Ryberg, and Vandy, Joe Pietersen, Ben Lesage, and Bjorn Basson. Pretty good little mix there. How are you guys feeling?
I wanted a name or two in there that I recognize, but I'll take it.
You know what? Hey, but that's what's fun. That's what's fun about I think this playing fantasy sports in league. You're gonna start to learn these guys. You're gonna start to follow these guys, and you're gonna start to like these guys. So, you may not know who the heck Bjorn Basson is right now, but hey,
I hate everybody that's not on Utah.
he will become maybe your and hey, yeah. How do you? And as we wrap up the show, we'll finish with this as 9 o'clock approaches. How do you feel that you are now a Utah Warriors fan?
I'm relieved a bit. I'll be honest.
Are you now that you actually have a fan?
I thought you guys were gonna dumpster me, and I was gonna be
no, we would
stuck
never.
there for a long time. But you guys gave me potential, so
we'll see. Yeah, you got kind of like a middle of the pack. You're not a bandwagoner, and you're not at the bottom of the heap. So we'll move on.
Sounds like my time with Kansas City.
Yeah, kind of. Hey, and they won a Super Bowl not too long after you came on. So hey, maybe that will be the thing for the Utah Warriors. And last thing, Matt, close out the show here. How do you feel about your team? Are you ready? Do you like your three centerpieces?
I like my three centerpieces, but I think I have a few guys to come that I think are going to help carry this team. So
Matt,
that's what I'm looking forward to. What's up?
You look like a cop.
No, I look like an RCMP.
Dang right he does. But all right. Well, that is going to do it for the live version of the Fantasy Ruckers Show. Thank you for everyone tuning in. Thank you to all of our league members, Ryan, Fitz, Hokie, who am I missing? Malcolm, Wes, even some of our other friends, Nick coming in and watching, and
don't forget
Mark,
John
and things like John, all you guys coming and supporting this and just having fun with this. I know this was not the most exciting episode. We were just kind of spitballing, but it's fun to kind of draft and kind of have these mind games and teasers here going through. So we'll hope to do more things like this in the future. We're gonna keep that draft going over the next couple of days. Wrap this up by Thursday, and hey, it's the opening match. this coming Friday. I cannot wait. I will be releasing a draft recap episode on my own on Thursday, so make sure you look out for that. And all the other updates, a couple housekeeping things. Make sure you're announcing your picks. I will be messaging you if we need to move things along in the league. And then once we have all the teams established, you guys will get those sheets to do the matchups and start setting your lineups. Should be a good one. I'll explain that on Thursday's episode. For Vandy, for Matt, I am Ryan Yee. Make sure you go like, subscribe, and follow us at the Fantasy Ruckers. We will see you
Peace
next
and love.
time.
Thank you.
You've been listening to the Fantasy Ruckers Show, bringing fantasy rugby to the masses, covering everything rugby from the MLR and beyond. We hope you enjoyed the show. Make sure to like, rate, and review, and be sure to tell all your friends. We'll be back soon, but in the meantime, connect with us on social media at the Fantasy Ruckers. Till next time, this is the Fantasy Ruckers Show, signing off.